Chicken's good to you too.
Yeah,
Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment, as we laugh, this segment brought to you by Daniel Hood Roofing. People don't trust contractors. We all know it. Daniel knows it. That's why he works so hard to make sure you know all of your options and exactly what you're getting before he starts to build or repair your roof. You will find no more conscientious roofer in the state of Tennessee. That is my personal promise to you about Daniel Hood Roofing. If you've got a roof repair, if you need a new roof, best decision you could ever make is pick up the phone and call Daniel Hood and Daniel Hood Roofing. Visit them at danielhoodroofing.com. Okay, time for our rapid fire segment. Josh, I'll start with you. Tennessee has beaten Missouri and South Carolina handily. Heupel, first-year coach. Beamer, first-year coach. Drinkwitz, second-year coach. So you're kind of getting a leg up on these guys that came in at the same time you did. Mm-hmm. Were these wins more important in the short term to get Vol fans and players to buy into Heupel, or more important in the long term for the purposes of recruiting and jumping a couple of teams who are, and they jumped you. Mm-hmm. It's one of the reasons you've fallen. So is it more important short term for belief purposes, more important long term for recruiting purposes?
I'm going to say short term for belief from the fans buying in to what's happening. We're still having conversations about the crowd and let's see next week what it looks like and trying to get more fans there. Well, imagine if they hadn't won these games. You know how rough the mood could be and what fans are saying. So I'm thinking of text threads that I'm on where fans are really getting excited about what they're seeing, and it's been a rough go. So seeing more offense, more points, fans are excited. I think from a recruiting standpoint, what's happened helps, but what happens next I think is going to be really important. Continuing to build and have good performances, maybe wins against some of these other teams, that's what recruits want to see down the line.
All right, very good. Jimmy Hines, what's been more impressive / surprising to you? The success of Josh Heupel's offense, the success of Tim Banks' defense?
When Josh Heupel went to Missouri, Missouri's offense was, 13th in the SEC, and then it was number 1 in the league 2 years in a row in total offense. He goes to Central Florida, their offense is flourishing. I thought the offense at Tennessee, regardless of who he settled on at quarterback or whoever, what the offensive line looked like, would be productive. From that standpoint, it's clearly defense. I did not see this defense playing this well. I did not see them being this good against the run for the most part. I didn't think this would be a team that would have minimal errors on defense. They have simplified things. They're playing at a much higher level than I thought they would. I'm going to go Tim Banks just because my expectations of the defense were not nearly what they were for offense.
Agreed, for the same reason. Mm-hmm. And think back to all the moaning and groaning about that long defensive coordinator search. Danny White did a good job running that search. Need you guys. But no, I think that's it is impressive what they wound up with. It'll be tested next week by Lane Kiffin and then by Alabama. But to date, I think also part of the reason that it exceeded expectations, who knew anything about Tim Banks? I mean, we really didn't know what to expect and what we were going to see. But in hindsight, if you'd had Kevin Steele, I don't know that I would feel better. I don't know that this defense would be in a better place, a more simplified attacking defense. Mm-hmm. If you had
with guys in and out at linebacker and the defensive backfield, they've had a lot of personnel changes this year.
Yeah. That whole staff deserves credit, all those defensive coaches. All right, Mike, this is going to be a big public opinion swing game, Kiffin versus Heupel. My question for you is, does the noise get louder with, yes, we got the right coach if Heupel wins? Or does the noise get louder with, we got the wrong coach if Kiffin wins?
Well, according to my last segment, if you leave Tennessee, you're dead to me. You're a rat. So clearly, I am not impressed with Lane Kiffin. However, if Lane Kiffin comes in and wins, okay, I think the opinion is Josh Heupel's still the right guy because Lane Kiffin chose to leave. The other thing too is, look, Ole Miss might be favored in this game, okay? So if Josh Heupel doesn't, if he doesn't beat him, okay, great, he doesn't beat him. If Josh Heupel wins, then he really solidifies himself as the right coach. But either way you look at it, you got the right coach right now. The next 4 weeks are going to be rough. We've all talked about it. We know it's going to be rough. Can you steal one out of those 4 to get you to that 7 wins? That's the big challenge. I think Heupel and Lane Kiffin's dead to me anyway. So
okay, all right. There were so many people that wanted Lane Kiffin back, though. Yeah. I think those people are going to be incredibly loud if Kiffin comes in here and wins.
Yeah, those are also the ones that were booing when you're up
Yeah.
Yep.
38
Don't
38 to
disagree.
14.
I think
What
you're
a
probably
short
right.
memory. Is that not
Probably
the
right.
shortest
Yeah.
memory of any fan base or those people?
Chuck.
Yes, sir.
You are the proud orange-wearing Vol fan on the panel. At what point was your confidence about the future at its highest? 1, when Butch Jones won his 11th straight game. It's amazing if you think back to that. 2, when Jeremy Pruitt declared the next decade be the decade of the Vols, and Philip Fulmer said, Vols are back. Or 3, right now. As a Vol fan looking to the future, where was your highest point of confidence?
Well, I'll be honest with you. You want to say right now, but I don't believe there's quite enough sample size compared to 11 straight wins by Butch Jones, and the fact you had Alvin Kamara on that team, you had Josh Dobbs on that team, you had so much talent on that team. But when I look at this, the trajectory is going up because who is doing more with less? Who is doing it with scheme as opposed to, read the defensive end and great decisions after the ball is snapped? And just like Jimmy said and so many other people have said, the way the defense is playing all around. I mean, it's definitely going up.
I think this bunch is doing more with less.
Exactly.
No question. But I put that in there just to, we have been positive today. When things are good, we say they're good. When things are bad, we say they're bad. People tend to listen to whatever we said that week and say, aha, they're always negative. Aha, they're always positive. I put that in there just to show, look, we're feeling pretty good right now about where the staff's going. We've seen false starts before. So just putting it out there to temper expectation a little bit. All right. When we come back, we're going to bring the VFLs out, and I'm going to see who likes the alternate uniforms. I'm also going to talk to a couple of the guys, the VFLs, who played for Lane Kiffin and get their take on his return. That is next. Come on back.
Not always what you want to hear, but exactly what you need to hear. This is the Sports Source.